This video is about, he was a waitress, until a rich lady gave her a school. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. He was a waitress, until a rich lady gave her a school. Part 1. In the small, sun-soaked town of Willow Creek, where the air was thick with the scent of blooming lilacs and freshly baked bread, Ava Martinez had a life most would consider mundane. By day, she balanced trays of steaming coffee and buttery croissants at the Cozy Nook, a beloved local café de dot. By night, she returned to her cramped one-bedroom apartment, where she often dreamed of something more. A dream that felt far beyond her reach. Ava had been a waitress for as long as she could remember, her hands calloused from carrying heavy plates, her heart heavy with unfulfilled aspirations. At 27, she felt like life was passing her by as she served regulars their morning coffee and listened to their stories. She studied them, hoping to piece together the fragments of a life she longed to live. Every morning, the cafe buzzed with energy. Regulars greeted Ava with warm smiles, and she responded with a kindness that came naturally to her. Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman with bright blue eyes, often lingered after her breakfast, sharing tales of her youth. "Ava, dear," Mrs. Thompson said one crisp spring morning, "you have a light in you that deserves to shine. Don't let your dreams stay buried under the weight of this cafe." Ava forced a smile, her heart aching with the truth of those words. "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. I'll remember that," she replied, but deep down it felt like a promise she couldn't keep. Despite her longing for change, every attempt to seek a different path fell flat. She had enrolled in community college but struggled to balance work and studies. The bills were relentless, and as much as she wanted to pursue a degree in education, she couldn't afford to quit her job. Her dreams felt like distant stars, twinkling but unreachable. One rainy afternoon, as the clouds rolled over Willow Creek, a woman named Eleanor Fitzgerald walked into the Cozy Nook. Eleanor was known around town as the reclusive billionaire philanthropist, her wealth a source of both admiration and envy. She rarely engaged with the locals, often seen only from a distance, gliding through charity galas and high society events. Today, however, she was different. She wore a simple, elegant raincoat, and her auburn hair curled delicately around her face. Ava barely recognized her as she wiped down a table nearby. Eleanor sat at the corner booth, her eyes scanning the cafe's lively atmosphere, a far cry from the opulence she was used to. "Excuse me, dear," Eleanor called out, her voice smooth like honey. "Can I get a cappuccino, please?" Feeling a rush of disbelief, Ava nodded rapidly. "Of course, right away." She hurried to prepare the drink, her heart racing. As she placed the steaming cup before the woman, she felt an energy crackling in the air, something unfamiliar yet profound. "Thank you," Eleanor said, her eyes meeting Ava's with an intensity that made her feel seen. "And what's your name?" "Ava," she replied, trying to mask the flutter in her stomach. "How's your day going, Miss Fitzgerald?" "It's better now," Eleanor smiled, a genuine warmth radiating from her. "You have a lovely spirit, Ava. I can tell you care about people." Ava shrugged, feeling a mix of embarrassment and pride. "I try my best. Everyone deserves kindness, right?" Eleanor nodded, her gaze thoughtful. "You remind me of someone I used to know, full of potential, yet uncertain of how to harness it. Do you have dreams, Ava?" Ava hesitated, her dreams often feeling too fragile to share. "I've always wanted to be a teacher," she finally admitted. "But life has its own plans, I suppose." Eleanor leaned in, intrigued. "Teaching is a noble profession. Tell me more about what you want." The words flowed freely, as if a dam had burst. Ava spoke of her love for learning, her desire to inspire children, to offer them the opportunities she never had. She could see Eleanor listening intently, her expression softening with each word. "I didn't have it easy either," Eleanor confessed, her voice trembling slightly. "I lost everything once, and it was kindness and hope that pulled me through. We can't underestimate the impact we have on others." As their conversation deepened, Ava felt a connection she hadn't expected. Eleanor shared stories of her own struggles, the loneliness that haunted her amidst wealth, and how she sought to give back to the community that had shaped her. "I've learned that the greatest gifts come from the heart," Eleanor said with a knowing smile. "You have that gift, Ava. You just need the right opportunity to share it." Their conversation flowed until the cafe emptied, the rain still drumming against the windows. Ava felt as if she were in a dream, sharing her heart with someone who truly understood. When the moment came to part, Eleanor reached into her handbag and pulled out a sleek business card. "If you ever feel ready to chase those dreams, here's my number. I can help guide you." Ava held the card, her heart racing. "Thank you, Mrs. Fitzgerald. This means a lot to me." Eleanor smiled, her eyes twinkling with a mix of hope and determination. "Remember, Ava, you have the strength to create your own path. Don't let fear hold you back." As she left the cafe, Ava felt the weight of the world lift slightly from her shoulders. The rain had stopped, and the sun peeked through the clouds, casting a warm glow over Willow Creek. With Eleanor's card clutched tightly in her hand, Ava could sense a flicker of hope igniting within her. Days turned into weeks, and though life resumed its usual rhythm at the cozy nook, Ava found herself reflecting on that conversation more often than not. The path ahead was still unclear, and the fear of failure lingered like a shadow, but the seed of resilience had been planted in her heart. One morning, while pouring coffee for a group of regulars, Ava overheard a conversation that shifted her perspective. A few patrons were discussing the importance of education, how it could change lives. "Without a good education, you're stuck," one man said. "It's a cycle that's hard to break." Those words struck a chord within her, and Ava felt a surge of motivation. Perhaps she could take a step toward her dreams, even if it was small. Inspired, she decided to enroll in an online course for teaching, a way to begin without leaving her job. With Eleanor's encouragement echoing in her mind, Ava spent her evenings studying, often losing track of time as she absorbed every lesson. Despite the exhaustion from long shifts, she discovered a sense of purpose in her newfound commitment. As weeks turned into months, Ava thrived in her studies. The local patrons noticed her energy shift, and her smile became brighter, her laughter more genuine. Even Mrs. Thompson remarked, "Ava, dear, you've got a glow about you. What's your secret?" "I think I'm finally finding my way," Ava said, her heart swelling with pride. The words felt like a promise to herself that she wouldn't give up. But life, as it often does, brought challenges. One day, as she arrived at the cafe, she was met with an unexpected crisis. The owner had announced that business was struggling, and they would need to cut staff. The news hit Ava hard. The idea of losing her job, the one thing that provided stability, brought a wave of fear crashing over her. "What will I do?" she whispered to herself as she wiped down tables, the heaviness of uncertainty settling in her chest. Would she be able to continue her studies? How could she afford to chase her dreams without a steady income? But deep down, the resilience Eleanor had ignited within her pushed her to fight back. "I can't let fear hold me back," she thought, her heart pounding. "I have to be brave." That evening, as she sat at her small kitchen table, Ava pulled out Eleanor's card. It felt like a lifeline, a tiny hope in her pocket. With trembling fingers, she dialed the number, her heart racing with each ring. "Hello," Eleanor answered, her voice warm and inviting. "It's Eva Martinez," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "I hope you remember me from the cafe." Of course. How are you, dear?" Eleanor replied. Ava took a deep breath. "I'm doing okay, but faced with some challenges. I wanted to talk to you about, well, pursuing my dreams. I could use your guidance." Eleanor's response was immediate and enthusiastic. "I'd love to help you, Ava. Let's meet and discuss how we can turn those dreams into reality." As they set a date, Ava felt a renewed sense of purpose. Hope was not just a distant star anymore. It was something she could reach for, something tangible she could hold on to. With every challenge that lay ahead, she knew she would step forward, fueled by the kindness of a stranger who saw a light within her. The journey would be hard, but Ava Martinez was ready to embrace it, one courageous step at a time. Little did she know, her life was about to change forever. Aya was a waitress until a rich lady gave her a school. Part 2 star. The sun had barely risen over Willow Creek when Ava pulled on her coat, heart racing as she stepped out into the crisp morning air. The small town was just waking up, the golden light spilling across rooftops and illuminating the path ahead. Today was the day she would meet Eleanor again, and she felt a mix of hope and apprehension. Arriving at the polished glass offices of Eleanor Fitzgerald's Charity Foundation, Ava took a deep breath. This was a pivotal moment, one that could steer her life in an entirely new direction. She smoothed her hair, adjusting her nerves like a well-worn coat before crossing through the glass doors. "Welcome, Ava." Eleanor greeted her with a warm smile, her presence instantly calming Ava Dadwell. She gestured for her to sit in a cozy corner of the office, filled with plants and books, a stark contrast to the formal atmosphere of the charity's boardroom. "Thank you for seeing me," Ava replied, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Eleanor's gaze was encouraging. "Of course, I'm excited to hear about your dreams. What have you been thinking?" Ava hesitated, then spoke, her words tumbling out in a rush. "I want to teach, Eleanor. I want to inspire children, to give them opportunities to learn and grow. But with everything happening at the cafe, I'm scared I won't have the chance." Eleanor nodded thoughtfully, her eyes gleaming with understanding. "Teaching is a beautiful aspiration. It changes lives. What if I told you that I could help you create a program, a school even, that focuses on underserved children?" The suggestion stunned Ava, leaving her momentarily speechless. "A school? But how?" Eleanor leaned forward, her voice steady and passionate. "There are many children in our community who lack access to quality education. With your empathy and experiences, you could connect with them on a deeper level. Together, we can make a difference." "But I don't know the first thing about running a school," Ava stammered, grappling with the enormity of the idea. "True," Eleanor acknowledged with a chuckle. "But you're willing to learn, and that's where we'll start. I'll mentor you through the process. You have the heart. Now let's combine that with education and structure." A flicker of excitement ignited within Ava, followed quickly by a wave of self-doubt. "I don't know if I'm ready for this. What if I fail?" "Failure is part of the journey," Eleanor responded, her voice soft yet firm. "Think of it as the first step toward growth. You are more capable than you realize, Ava. You just need to trust yourself." Ava's heart raced at the prospect. The idea of creating something meaningful, of being part of a solution, filled her with a sense of purpose she had never experienced before. "Okay," she finally breathed, her voice steady. "Let's do it." Over the next few weeks, Ava's life transformed into a whirlwind of activity. With Eleanor's guidance, she immersed herself in research about educational programs, funding, and community outreach. Eleanor introduced her to local leaders, shared contacts, and even brought her to meetings where decisions about funding were made. "Remember, every question is a chance to learn," Eleanor reminded her, encouraging Ava to speak up. "Your voice matters." The first meeting Ava attended was daunting. Surrounded by experienced educators and philanthropists, she felt small and out of place. Yet, as the discussions unfolded, she began to see the gaps in the system. Students slipping through the cracks, talents wasted due to lack of resources. With each meeting, she found herself growing more confident. She shared her vision for a school that embraced creativity, emotional well-being, and inclusivity. The others listened, occasionally nodding, but Ava's heart raced with both hope and trepidation. Would they understand her dreams? After one particularly challenging meeting, where Ava had stumbled through her presentation, she returned to her small apartment feeling defeated. "What have I done?" she muttered, her voice echoing in the silence. The weight of responsibility felt heavy on her shoulders. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Eleanor. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Remember, you're not alone in this. Let's chat tomorrow. Ava's heart softened. Eleanor's unwavering belief in her was a bright light in her darkest moments. She replied, her fingers dancing over the screen. Thank you. I needed that. The next day, they met at a local park, the air fresh with the scent of blooming flowers. Ava shared her insecurities, voicing her fears of inadequacy. Even the most successful people have faced setbacks, Eleanor reassured her. It's about perseverance. Look at your journey so far. You've come so far from serving coffee at the cozy nook. Ava nodded, the memories flooding back. I never would have imagined I'd be here, thinking about starting a school. Eleanor smiled warmly. That's the beauty of dreams. They often evolve in unexpected ways. It's your resilience that fuels this fire. Let's rethink your presentation together. With renewed determination, they worked late into the night, crafting a compelling proposal. The next meeting loomed ahead, and Ava felt a whirlwind of emotions. Excitement, fear, and a burgeoning sense of purpose. When the day arrived, she entered the boardroom, her heart pounding. This was not just another meeting. It was a chance to advocate for her vision. Taking a deep breath, she began her presentation, speaking from the heart. I believe that every child deserves a fair chance at education, she began, her voice gaining strength as she continued. We can create a nurturing environment where children not only learn academically but also grow emotionally and socially. They need to feel valued. As she spoke, she saw small nods of agreement around the room. The experience gave her hope. Maybe they did see the value in her passion. Let's make this a reality together, she concluded, her voice unwavering. We can change lives. The room erupted into discussion. Questions were thrown her way, but instead of cowering, Ava embraced each one, buoyed by Eleanor's encouragement. Hours passed, and finally the board members agreed to support her vision, pledging funds to help develop the school. Congratulations, Ava, Eleanor exclaimed as they stepped outside, the sun shining down like a warm embrace. You did it, Ava laughed, a sound filled with joy and disbelief. I can't believe it. We're really going to do this. Indeed we are. And this is just the beginning, Eleanor promised. You've shown incredible resilience, but there will be more challenges ahead. True to Eleanor's words, challenges soon arose. As the school's opening drew closer, they faced unexpected hurdles. Building permits delayed, budgets tight, and community skepticism. Each obstacle felt like a mountain Ava had to climb. One evening, after a particularly tough day filled with setbacks, Ava sat alone in her dimly lit kitchen, feeling overwhelmed. As tears welled in her eyes, she picked up her phone to text Eleanor, seeking solace. Hey, can we meet? I could use some advice, she typed, her heart heavy. Within minutes, Eleanor responded, a beacon of hope. Of course. Let's meet at the cozy nook. Their meeting felt like a lifeline. Ava poured out her frustrations, her fears spilling into the conversation. What if I can't do this? What if I fail them? Eleanor listened patiently, her presence grounding. Ava, my dear, remember your purpose. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. But I feel like I'm letting everyone down, Ava admitted, her voice breaking. Not at all. You are learning how to navigate these waters. And you know what? Every great leader has felt this way at some point. It's part of being human. Eleanor's words resonated with Ava, igniting a flicker of hope. So, it's okay to struggle. Absolutely. Embrace the struggle. It builds your character, your resolve. Plus, you have a community supporting you. Lean on them. With Eleanor's encouragement, Ava began to reach out to local businesses for support, gathering resources and volunteers. Slowly but surely, her confidence grew. The community rallied behind her vision, and together, they laid the groundwork for the school. The grand opening day arrived, and as Ava stood outside the newly painted building, the vibrant colors reflecting her dreams, she felt a rush of emotions. She had turned fears into fuel, and with each child that walked through those doors, she would make a difference. As she greeted the parents and children, she spotted Eleanor standing proudly at the back, her smile radiant. "You did this, Ava," she said softly when they embraced, tears glistening in her eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you," Ava replied, her voice filled with gratitude. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. That's the power of kindness and hope," Eleanor said. "You are a beacon of light for these children and their families. You will inspire them to chase their dreams, just as you did." With the doors flung open, laughter filled the air as children dashed inside, their excitement palpable. Ava felt a sense of Aya was a waitress until a rich lady gave her a school. Part 3 Thin. The sun bathed Willow Creek in a golden light, casting long shadows as Ava stood at the entrance of her dream, her school. The colorful facade seemed to pulse with energy, a stark contrast to the fears she had wrestled with just months ago. Today was the grand opening, an event she had envisioned countless times while pouring coffee at the cozy nook. As she adjusted her floral dress, her gaze swept over the crowd gathering outside. Parents chatted excitedly, children dashed around, their laughter electrifying the air. The once quiet building now buzzed with anticipation, a sanctuary for dreams ready to sprout. "Can you believe this is happening?" Ava whispered to herself, her heart swelling with a mixture of pride and disbelief. She spotted Eleanor, a comforting presence in a sea of unfamiliar faces, standing by the school's entrance, her elegant smile radiating warmth. "You did it, Ava," Eleanor called out, her voice rising above the chatter. She beckoned her forward, and Ava felt a rush of gratitude, the warmth of Eleanor's support flooding her heart. "Thank you for standing by me through all of this," Ava replied earnestly, squeezing Eleanor's hand. "I couldn't have done it without you." "It was your determination that brought this to life," Eleanor said softly, her eyes glimmering with pride. "You believed in yourself and your vision, and now look at the impact you're making." As they stood together, Ava couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought her here. The moments of self-doubt, the sleepless nights spent studying educational frameworks, and the countless meetings where she had fought for her vision. Each challenge had chipped away at her insecurities, revealing a strength she hadn't known she possessed. "Let's get this celebration started," Eleanor said, nudging Ava back to the present. They joined the crowd, the sound of applause erupting as the mayor stepped onto a makeshift podium. "Today, we celebrate not just the opening of a school, but the beginning of a brighter future for our children," he proclaimed, his voice booming. "This school stands as a testament to the power of dreams, hard work, and community support." Ava's heart swelled as she looked around, seeing familiar faces from the cozy nook among the gathering crowd. Mrs. Thompson waved enthusiastically from the front, her bright blue eyes shining with pride. "Go, Ava!" she cheered, her voice rising above the applause. As the mayor continued his speech, Ava thought back to her old life. "I served coffee to those who dreamed while I stood on the sidelines," she murmured to Eleanor. "But now, I'm the one instilling hope in others." "Exactly," Eleanor said, a knowing smile on her lips. "You're creating a space for children to flourish, to discover their own passions and dreams." That's a beautiful gift. Once the speeches concluded, Ava stepped up to the podium, her heart pounding. As she looked out at the sea of eager faces, she felt a rush of nervous energy. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steady. "This school is a labor of love, fueled by the belief that every child deserves a chance to learn and grow. Together, we will foster an environment where creativity and empathy thrive." Cheers erupted from the crowd, fueling her confidence. I wanted to create a place where children feel valued and inspired, where learning is not confined to textbooks, but extends to the world around them. Together we'll nurture their spirits, just as I was nurtured by kindness." The warmth of their applause washed over her, and Ava knew this was just the beginning. The challenges ahead would be steep, but she was ready to face them head-on. As the day unfolded, families were welcomed inside, exploring the colorful classrooms filled with supplies, books, and art materials. Teachers mingled with parents, their enthusiasm palpable. Ava felt a tingle of excitement as children picked up crayons, eagerly decorating welcome banners. "Look, Ava!" a young girl shouted, holding up her crayon masterpiece. "I made a rainbow." "That's beautiful, Mia." "Rainbows are symbols of hope," Ava replied, squeezing the girl's shoulder gently. In that moment, she knew she was where she belonged. However, as the weeks turned into months, the reality of running a school began to sink in. The initial excitement faded, and the weight of responsibility settled on Ava's shoulders like a heavy cloak. Challenges began to mount: budget constraints, staffing issues, and the ongoing struggle to secure necessary resources. One rainy afternoon, Ava sat in her tiny office, papers strewn around her. She stared at the dwindling budget, feeling the familiar pang of anxiety gnawing at her insides. "How will I keep this place running?" she whispered to herself, the shadows of doubt creeping in. Just then, the phone rang, jolting her from her thoughts. "Ava, we need to talk." Eleanor's voice was urgent yet calm on the other end. "Can you meet me at the cozy nook?" With a sigh of relief, Ava slid on her coat, grateful for Eleanor's unwavering support. The familiar scent of coffee greeted her as she entered the cafe, and she spotted Eleanor seated at their usual table. "Ava, I heard about the budget issues. I want to help," Eleanor said, concern etched on her face. "I don't know what to do, Eleanor," Ava admitted, tears threatening to spill. "I want this school to succeed so badly, but I feel like I'm letting everyone down." Eleanor shook her head, her gaze steady. "You're not letting anyone down. You're navigating uncharted waters, and that's okay. Remember, every setback is an opportunity for growth." With Eleanor's encouragement, they brainstormed strategies to garner community support. They drafted grant proposals, reached out to local businesses, and organized events to raise funds. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. One day, during a community meeting, Ava stood before a group of local business owners, her heart racing. "I believe in this school," she said, her voice firm. "We have the power to change lives, but I can't do it alone. I need your support." After an intense discussion, several businesses pledged their support. As the meeting wrapped up, Ava felt a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they were building something beautiful. As the school year progressed, Ava witnessed the fruits of their labor. Children thrived in a nurturing environment that encouraged exploration and creativity. She watched them blossom, their laughter echoing through the halls. Yet, doubts occasionally crept in. One evening, while grading papers in her office, Ava felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of work. She missed the simplicity of her previous life. "Am I doing the right thing?" she murmured, staring at the stack of papers before her. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mrs. Thompson. "Ada, I just wanted to say how proud I am of you. You're doing amazing work." Ava's heart swelled. With a smile on her face, she replied, "Thank you. It means the world to me." The days turned into weeks, and the school began to flourish. Community support grew, with local businesses donating supplies, volunteer tutors offering their time, and parents engaging actively in their children's education. However, just as things seemed to settle, a crisis hit. A major funding source fell through, leaving Ava scrambling to find a solution. Panic surged within her as she faced the prospect of closing the school she had fought so hard to create. "Ava, don't panic," Eleanor said during a late-night meeting. "Let's brainstorm together. We're not giving up." With Eleanor's guidance, Ava organized a fundraising gala, pooling resources and support from the community. They crafted a beautiful evening filled with storytelling, music, and a celebration of the school's achievements. As they prepared for the event, Ava poured her heart into each detail, channeling her anxiety into excitement. On the night of the gala, the town hall sparkled with lights and laughter, each guest sharing in the vision of a brighter future. "Welcome, everyone!" Ava addressed the crowd, her heart racing. "Tonight, we celebrate our school and the incredible community that has supported us. Together, we can ensure that no child is left behind." As the night unfolded, Ava shared stories of her students, their triumphs and dreams. The room filled with warmth, and when the donation box was presented, hands shot up, eager to contribute. At the end of the night, Ava looked at the overflowing donations with disbelief. "We did it, Eleanor. We saved the school." Eleanor enveloped her in a warm hug. "No, Ava. You did it. Your passion ignited this community." As the year continued, Ava learned that resilience wasn't the absence of challenges, but the willingness to face them. Each struggle had shaped her into a leader, one who lifted others as she climbed. The school became a sanctuary of hope, a place where children learned not just academics, but the value of kindness, perseverance, and the beauty of the human spirit. And through it all, Ava never forgot the lessons learned at the cozy nook, the power of dreams, community, and the light within us all. Standing in the schoolyard one afternoon, watching children play, she felt a sense of fulfillment. This was more than a school. It was a waitress, until a rich lady gave her a school. Part 4. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm orange hue over Willow Creek, Ava stood in front of her school, reflecting on how far she had come. The laughter of children echoed in her ears, a melody that filled her heart with joy, but the path to this moment hadn't been easy. It was littered with trials that tested her resolve. After the successful gala, the school had weathered the storm of funding issues. But as the new school year approached, fresh challenges emerged. The excitement of new beginnings brought a wave of anxiety. Ava spent countless nights awake, poring over enrollment numbers and budgets. One afternoon, while seated at her desk, she stared at the empty chairs in the classroom, a stark reminder of the dwindling enrollment. "What if we can't fill the seats?" she murmured, biting her lip. "What if we can't keep this place running?" Just then, Eleanor knocked lightly on the door, gliding in with her usual grace. "Ava, dear, how are you holding up?" she asked, her voice filled with genuine concern. "I'm worried, Eleanor. Enrollment is lower than I hoped." "I don't want to let anyone down," Ava replied, her voice wavering. Eleanor walked over, placing a comforting hand on Ava's shoulder. "You're not alone in this. Fear is a natural part of growth. Let's brainstorm ways to boost enrollment together. Maybe we could hold an open house," Ava suggested, her eyes lighting up. "Invite families to see what we're doing here." "That's a fantastic idea. Create an inviting atmosphere. Showcase the heart of this school," Eleanor encouraged, her enthusiasm infectious. "I can help spread the word." With renewed energy, Ava set to work. They organized the open house, transforming the school into a welcoming space filled with displays of student artwork and interactive learning stations. The teachers prepared engaging activities to showcase their teaching methods, and parents volunteered to provide refreshments. The night of the open house arrived, and Ava's heart raced with anticipation. As families started to trickle in, she greeted each one with a smile, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Welcome to our school. Come in and take a look around." Parents chatted amongst themselves, and children explored the activities. Ava felt a sense of belonging wash over her. "This is what I dreamed of," she whispered, watching a group of kids giggle as they painted a large mural together. "Look, Ava," a little boy exclaimed, his face lit up with delight as he created a masterpiece. "I made a rocket ship." "That's incredible, Lucas. You're an artist." Ava beamed, the pride swelling within her. Each joyful moment filled her with determination. As the evening unfolded, the once quiet hallways buzzed with laughter and conversation. Parents engaged with teachers, asking questions about the curriculum and the school's vision. Ava felt a spark of hope igniting within her. By the end of the night, as families filtered out, she turned to Eleanor, her heart racing. "Did you see how many people came?" "I think we did it." Eleanor smiled, radiating pride. "You did it, Ava. Your passion shines through and it's contagious. This place is a beacon of hope." Yet, the next day, doubt crept back in as Ava reviewed the enrollment figures. What if it wasn't enough? She worried aloud, pacing her office. What if we can't make this work? Ava, remember why you started this? Eleanor's calm voice cut through the noise of her anxious thoughts. You are capable of overcoming this. Focus on the impact you are making. You're right, Ava sighed, rubbing her temples. I just wish it was easier. Growth rarely is. Let's reach out to the community again. Maybe we can partner with local organizations, host workshops, something to get more families involved. Motivated by Eleanor's unwavering support, Ava began drafting proposals to local organizations, outlining how the school aimed to serve the community. She envisioned educational workshops, family nights, and community service projects that would bring everyone together. One sunny afternoon, she stood in front of the town council, her heart pounding. This school is not just a place for learning, it's a community hub. We can create programs that address the needs of our children and families, she asserted, her voice steady despite her nerves. A council member raised an eyebrow. What kind of programs are you envisioning? Workshops on parenting, mental health resources, and after-school programs for children. We want to empower not just the kids but the entire community, Ava explained, passion radiating from her. The council members exchanged glances, and after a tense moment, they nodded in agreement. We're willing to collaborate. Let's develop a plan. As weeks went by, Ava watched her vision come to life. The school became a vibrant center, offering workshops that attracted families from all over Willow Creek. The sense of community blossomed, and enrollment numbers began to rise. Yet amidst the successes, Ava still faced moments of self-doubt. One rainy evening, she sat in her office, staring at the paperwork. Am I really equipped to run all this? She whispered to herself, tears brimming in her eyes. Picking up her phone, she scrolled through her contacts until her finger hovered over Eleanor's name. Hesitating for a moment, she hit dial. Eleanor, can we talk? Her voice trembled. Of course, Ava. Come over. I'll make tea. Eleanor replied, her tone soothing. Ava arrived at Eleanor's home, the comforting aroma of herbal tea enveloping her. As they settled into the cozy sitting room, Ava laid her heart bare. I'm scared I'm not enough for this. What if I can't handle it? Eleanor leaned forward, her gaze steady. Ava, you've already accomplished so much. You've built a school that serves as a lifeline for children. Your passion and kindness speak volumes. Remember, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. But what if I let everyone down? Ava whispered, her insecurities surfacing. You won't. You're creating a safe space for children to thrive, and that's worth every ounce of effort. Embrace the struggle. It means you care, Eleanor encouraged. And don't forget, it's a journey. You're not meant to have all the answers right now. Thank you, Eleanor. You always know how to lift me up. Ava said, feeling her heart lighten amidst the weight of her worries. As they sipped tea and shared stories, Ava felt rejuvenated. The warmth of Eleanor's friendship reminded her that she was not alone in this journey. With newfound resolve, she returned to her school the next day, her spirit reignited. In the following months, the school flourished. With the programs in place, families began to see the value in what Ava had created. Children thrived in the nurturing environment, and Ava witnessed the joy on their faces daily. One afternoon, as Ava strolled through the schoolyard, a group of kids approached her. Ava, can we show you what we're working on? A girl named Mia asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Absolutely," Ava replied, her heart swelling with pride as they led her to the open-air classroom filled with colorful banners and creative projects. They showcased their teamwork in a way that made her heart soar. "This is amazing," Ava exclaimed, beaming. "You're all so talented." "Thanks, Ava. We love this school." A boy named Lucas chimed in, waving a crayon-drawn picture of a rocket ship. Ava knelt down to their level, her eyes twinkling. "You inspire me every day. I want you to know that your dreams matter. Keep reaching for the stars." As the children's laughter filled the air, Ava felt a wave of fulfillment wash over her. She had fought for this moment, the realization that her dreams had taken root and were blossoming. Yet, as the school year drew to a close, a new challenge loomed on the horizon. An unexpected inspection from the education board sent waves of anxiety through Ava. "What if they don't see the value in what we've built?" she fretted, pacing her office. Eleanor arrived with a confident smile, sensing Ava's tension. "You've put your heart into this school. Trust that it will shine through." The day of the inspection arrived, and Ava greeted the board members, her nerves dancing. "Welcome to our school. We're excited to show you what we've created," she said, her voice steady despite the pounding in her chest. As they toured the classrooms, Ava showcased the innovative programs, student projects, and the community's involvement. The board members watched with keen interest, asking thoughtful questions. "Your focus on emotional and social development is impressive," one member remarked. "It's clear that you've built a nurturing environment." Ava felt the weight lift slightly as they continued their tour. She knew that this was not just her story. It was a testament to the community that had rallied around her. As the day concluded, the board members gathered in the main office, looking thoughtful. "We are impressed by the growth and community engagement at this school. We will be recommending continued funding," one of them announced, and the room erupted in cheers. Ava's heart soared, tears of relief streaming down her cheeks. "Thank you so much," she exclaimed, overwhelmed with gratitude. "Way,